In this short video, we'll take a look at going from point slope to slope-intercept form of a line. In a lot of algebra classes, you might see a problem that looks like this. Write the equation of the line with a slope of 3/4 and going through the point 8, -1. Now, the most convenient way to write that equation is to use something called point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. The slope in this case would be 3/4, and the x1, y1 is the 8, -1. So this is really convenient because all we need to do is plug those numbers in. We'll have y minus, and then y1 is -1 equals 3/4 times x minus x1. So that would be 8. And then you might want to get rid of that minus a negative by remembering that that is adding. And technically, that's all you need to do to write the equation of a line. That's it. Now, where it gets tricky is sometimes you might have a teacher or a test that requires you to change the form. Okay, so to change the form, distribute through the parentheses and then solve for y. So that would look like this. You'd take that 3/4 and multiply it through the parentheses. 3/4 times x, not a problem. 3/4 times 8, sometimes that can be a little bit more of a problem. When you multiply your fraction straight across, so that'll be 24/4 or 6. So that'll be 6, and then solve for y. That means get y by itself. In this case, we'll subtract 1 from both sides, and that will give us y equals 3/4 x minus 7. And now we've changed the form over. Now, when I wrote this problem, I wrote a problem that would come out nicely over there so that we would have a fraction that's simplified to an integer, which would make it easy for us to subtract the 1. Beware of mean people who write problems that give you nasty fractions here. So in other words, what can happen is when you go to multiply the slope times the number is you end up with a fraction. Then when you go to subtract, you have things with unlike denominators and you end up in a bit of a nasty fraction mess. That can be because somebody is nasty or because they did not bother to take the time to see how it would come out. If that happens, take a deep breath. Remember that algebra is different from the arithmetic, and just plow your way through the fractions as best you can. But that's the basic mechanics for switching the forms.